Butterflies in love. Once upon a time, there dwelt two butterflies who were deeply in love. They were on a quest for a most wondrous nectar, which could be found within but a single blossom. This rare flower opened its petals only once every 5 years, and even then, for a single day alone. They had heard tell that whoever drank of this nectar would live to be 100 years old, and because they held one another so dear, they sought to find this bloom so that they might share 100 years of life together. Who could possibly know of such a flower? Where might it grow? These were the grave questions the two asked of themselves. The forest was vast, and there were many creatures, plants, and other butterflies they might consult. For well nigh half a butterfly's lifetime, they fluttered from bloom to bloom and from nest to nest. Do you know the plant that flowers but once in 5 years? 1,000 times they posed the very same question, yet never had a soul heard of such a blossom. A butterfly's life is a fleeting thing. Scarcely any species lives to see a full year. Some indeed live for but a few weeks. Thus the two had to make haste if they were to find the mysterious flower within their span of days. At last, they perched disconsolately upon a low-hanging branch, looking quite forlorn and knowing not which way to turn. Just then, an old toad came waddling by. "Well now, have you been nibbling too much on sorrel? Or why do you sit there looking so dismal? Alas, what do you know of our brief lives and our great love? We have spent half a lifetime searching for a plant that blooms but once every 5 years, yet no one knows of it, and no one can tell us whom else to ask. It is also very sad." "Well," replied the toad, "I have never heard of such a plant myself. But then, I do not travel much. Why, however, do you not ask the old troll? He has lived in this forest for at least 300 years. If he does not know, I should, if I were in your place, abandon the quest and make peace with your lot in life." "An old troll? And where does he dwell? Here in the forest?" "Yes, just beyond the next hill, within the ancient oak. He has made himself quite at home amongst the roots." "I believe we have one last chance," said the butterfly man to his butterfly wife. The toad was just about to hop away when she recollected, "But do not, whatever you do, call him old troll. It makes him most peevish. You had best call him wise man. It flatters him, you see. You shall surely find him at home in the early morning. During the day, he goes about his business." The very next morning, at the first light of dawn, the pair of lovers fluttered to the hill. They found the ancient oak, and right before it stood a lit lantern. The troll had likely forgotten to blow it out upon his return. Patiently, or rather quite impatiently, though they took care not to show it, the two butterflies waited until something stirred within the roots. Then they both cried out, wise man, we seek your counsel." And sure enough, there emerged, pointed cap first, a small, stooped figure with a great nose and eyes as bright as buttons. At first, the troll did not perceive them at all. "Who calls for me?" "We do, up here on the branch." The troll looked up and saw upon a low-hanging branch quite near the entrance to his dwelling 2 butterflies sitting prettily side by side. They fanned their wings a little, so the troll could be certain it was they who sought his attention. "Well now, my dear children of light," for so the troll called all butterflies, "what is the matter, and what may I do for you?" The male butterfly began, "I am Friesada, and this is my beloved Feiada. We have spent half our lives searching for a plant that blooms but once every 5 years. We have learned that whoever drinks its nectar shall live for 100 years, and because we love one another so, we wish to live for 100 years together. Well, my dear children of light, such a flower does indeed exist. It is the Titan Arum. But you shall not find such a tropical thing in these woods. It grows far from here upon the island of Sumatra. That is where the fine cigars come from." "Ah, If only I might have another of those. The news was both wondrous and woeful for Friesada and Feiada. At last, they had the tidings they had so long desired. The plant existed, and they knew its name, Titan Arum. But it was so far distant that they could never hope to reach it in their lifetime. They thanked the old troll most politely and fluttered away, sadder than ever they had been. At midday, they were perched upon a lily, drinking of its nectar, when they heard a peculiar, croaking voice in the forest, such as they had never heard before. "Poppycock! Poppycock!" it cried, and the two butterflies looked about to see whence this strange call came. "Look, what a singular bird," said Friesada to his dear companion, Feiada. Perched in a tree just above them was a colorful parrot. Never before had the two butterflies set eyes upon such a rare creature. "What manner of strange bird are you?" they called up to the croaking being. "Why strange? I am a parrot, and where I come from, there are many of my kind, though here in the forest I am quite alone." "And where is it that you come from?" "Ah, what is the use of telling you? You would not know the island in any case. Far, far from here lies an island called Sumatra, where I dwelt until I was captured and brought here to the zoological gardens." This was the second time in but a short space that the lovers had heard the name of that distant island, Sumatra. "Oh, it must be beautiful there," sighed Feiada. "Just imagine, we too are searching for something, and only this morning did we learn that it is to be found only in Sumatra." The parrot grew curious. And what on earth might that be? Long ago, we heard of a plant that blooms but once in 5 years. We had searched the entire forest and asked everyone. No one knew of it, until today. We found a wise man who told us the plant is called the Titan Arum, but that it is native to Sumatra and quite beyond our reach. "Poppycock! Poppycock!" cried the parrot, flapping his wings so that his colors showed even more splendidly. "I only set out on my excursion this morning. You see, I live in a zoological garden quite near the town, and in that great garden there stands a Titan Arum, not far from my own enclosure. Because the plant suddenly began to reek most abominably this morning, I took flight for a day or two. I expect it shall bloom tomorrow." The two butterflies were struck dumb. Their little hearts almost ceased to beat. Could you perhaps lead us there?" "Certainly I could. But tell me, what do you want with that stinking blossom?" "We shall tell you. They say that if a butterfly drinks the nectar of that rare flower, he may live for 100 years. And because we love one another so, we wish to go there, so that we may live together for 100 years. I tell you what, you flutter far too slowly. Come, perch upon my wings, and I shall fly you as swift as the wind to the gardens, straight to my enclosure. Let us hope the keeper has not yet closed the flight window." And so they did. Soon they were soaring over the zoological gardens, and the parrot came down to land. "Upsa-daisy!" And there he sat upon a branch, not far from a most peculiar plant. "May I present to you the Titan Arum?" "But it smells simply divine," cried Friesada, and Feiada heartily agreed. "Pray, wait a moment for us. We should like to fly back to our forest with you." "With all my heart," replied the parrot, and began to preen his feathers. Friesada and Feiada flew to the great blossom, vanished entirely within, and feasted upon the nectar of the Titan Arum. The spell held true. Indeed, they felt better than they had in an age, young and brimming with energy. Now they were certain they would live together for 100 years. Scarcely had they settled upon the parrot's wings again when a scent reached their noses. "But wait a moment. That is a truly foul stench. What can it be?" The parrot explained that this was the heavenly scent of Sumatra. The zookeeper smoked only cigars from his homeland of Sumatra. Feiada whispered something into Friesada's ear, who then turned to the parrot. "Dear parrot, the wise man who told us of your home this morning said he would dearly love to smoke a cigar from Sumatra once again. We should like to bring him one out of gratitude. Do you think the keeper might give you one?" "Well, I don't suppose he shall mind much if one goes missing from the box. Follow me." Off he flew, with the 2 butterflies upon his wings. They drew near the keeper's cottage, and by good fortune, the window stood open. There upon the table was the cigar box. The parrot alighted on the table, opened the lid with his clever feet, carefully withdrew a cigar, snapped the lid shut, clamped the thick cigar across his beak, and off he went, back to the forest. "I say, we 2 butterflies cannot carry this enormous cigar to the wise man on our own." "It matters not a jot whether I land here or there," replied the parrot. And so the kindly, helpful parrot not only brought the lovers back to their forest, but set them down right by the oak of the old troll, who was just then returning from his errands. Wise man, we have brought you a gift," cried the butterflies, and the parrot carefully laid the great cigar upon a tree stump. The troll could scarcely believe his eyes. "You truly went to Sumatra, and you are back already, and you even thought of me. That is simply marvelous." "Well, to give the truth its due, we did not go as far as Sumatra, but this parrot here comes from that island, and he told us that a Titan Arum grows in the zoological gardens, and it happened to bloom this very day. You are so honest, you have friends, and you did not forget the old troll. For that you shall indeed live for 100 years. I know not if the tales of the nectar are true, but by my own magical arts, I can grant you this wish." Then the troll lit his cigar. His eyes grew misty with joy. He whistled a little tune while puffing out small clouds of smoke, and vanished into his little house amongst the deep roots of the ancient oak. The parrot and the butterflies remained friends for all their days. As is well known, parrots live to a ripe old age. Not quite so old as trolls, perhaps, but certainly as long as our pair of butterflies was promised, and maybe even a little longer. Keep a watchful eye upon the spring meadows. Perhaps you may still see Feiada and Friesada fluttering there.